Welcome back to Only Talk Sports. We talk sports every single day, or at least we try to. I'm Ernest Jeffrey. Subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. Today, me and Jacob Root of Locked-on Hoosiers discuss whether we think that Tayven Jackson will be the starting quarterback for Indiana football over Brendan Sorsby, and whether we think that Tayven Jackson can lead Indiana football to success in 2023. That brings us now to this year's group of quarterbacks, because Dexter Williams is still on the shelf. We don't know when he's going to return. Could be mid-season. But you've got Tayven Jackson, the younger brother of Trace Jackson Davis, the program legend. It still just is wild to me. You've got Trace Jackson Davis basketball. Now Tayven Jackson has a shot to make something special happen in Indiana football. It'd be crazy if they could both do that at Indiana basketball and football. But he's going up against Brendan Sorsby, who did play a little bit last season against Penn State, was not very successful, and can't really expect a true freshman to have success there. Do you think that it's a legitimate quarterback battle between the two? Or do you think Tayven Jackson has the job, in your opinion, pretty much locked up based on his pedigree as a high school recruit, and he's has a little more, I guess you would say his stats look better at Tennessee than Sorsby did in Indiana last year? And if so, do you think that Tayven Jackson is being slept on as a quarterback in the Big Ten next year? You think he can surprise some people?
I would say Tayven is the front runner at the very least. One of the things I always go back on is guys don't transfer to a school without having some sort of assurances. I don't know that Tom Allen said you're the starting quarterback, but he probably came in and said, hey, you have a good fall, a good spring, a good fall, you're the quarterback. And so I imagine I would be really surprised if he was not the starting quarterback this season. And so now we're not going to know that until the first snap of the Ohio State game with the way Tom Allen does things. But he's really talented. I on the show back when Tayven committed during basketball season, we had on our football recruiting expert to talk about who Tayven was coming out of high school. And he said he spoke to he spoke to people at Tennessee. Tayven was being groomed to be the guy at Tennessee after Hendon Hooker got injured and was eventually going to leave. He was being prepped to play in the bowl game for Tennessee, and then they sat him out because he had a little bit of an injury, and they just didn't want to risk anything. They wanted him to head into spring and fall practice healthy, and then they recruited over him, and which is the nature of college football, and Tayven saw that and probably talked to some people at IU and realized the opportunity there and left to go to IU. But I say that to tell just how good Tayven Jackson is, and that's a kind of a blue blood program for college football that was ready to make him the next guy. And so he's going to come into IU with a lot of talent. There's still going to be a lot of questions, and there's only so much one man can do. And as you were kind of saying, if the offensive line struggles as it has in recent years, it's going to severely limit what Indiana can do. But he's a super talented player, a great athlete that's going to be able to make plays even if IU's offensive line struggles. I'm really excited to see what he can do this season. I think him and Jalen Lucas together are going to be a ton of fun this season. And so at the same time, he's still really young, redshirt freshman. Maybe he's being slept on a little bit, but he's going to have growing pains. And your hope is that there's a lot more positive flashes than negative ones this season. But if things work out, IU has maybe their guy moving forward with, as a redshirt freshman, you would have him for a number of seasons, assuming, knock on wood, he doesn't transfer, which I would be surprised given the legacy the family has at IU. But I'm really excited to see what he does this season, because he was a super talented recruit and someone that was being set up to play for Tennessee. And if you'd tell me that IU was going to get Tennessee starting quarterback, almost every time I'd be excited for it. So he's going to be a lot of fun to watch this year, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think that how he plays has a big effect on how successful Indiana could be because no one's talking about him. That's why I think he's being slept on. And you are 100% correct. He's only a redshirt freshman, and he has very little experience at all. And Indiana's offensive line, despite having a new offensive line coach in Bob Bostad from Wisconsin, if he could make the O line a little bit better, and if he does, then that maybe could help Tayven Jackson out big time. But I mean, I think I saw like quarterback rankings of the Big Ten, and Tayven Jackson was like second to last or last. And I mean, granted, most of the guys ahead of him have more experience, so that makes sense in a ranking. But I just feel like he has a chance to be really good, and if he is good, that could make Indiana much better than people are expecting. Than 3 or 4 wins that are what basically the betting lines are for their over under the season. So it's gonna be really interesting. But I think that he has a shot to be really solid. Subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Like this video down below. Comment down below what you think about Tayven Jackson possibly being the starting quarterback for Indiana football in 2023 and whether you think that Indiana football can have success with him at quarterback this season in college football. Follow me on Twitter as well. Link is in the description, and I will see you next time.